Welcome to Insurance Claim Radio, where leading hail loss consumer advocate Phil Coutu and his team of experts teach you how to avoid the pitfalls of hail damage claims and how to use his team of experts to get what you truly deserve under your insurance policy. Now, here's your host of Insurance Claim Radio, Phil Coutu.
Hi, we're live with Insurance Claims Radio. I'm your host, Phil Coutu. This is a show designed to help people with their insurance claims across the nation, and we're based out of Colorado. We're speaking a lot about hail because it's the start of the hail season in Colorado. We're going to get into speaking about, we've got Mike Neely here from Pro Roof Solutions, and we've got Jason Price, who works for Alpine Adjusting. Jason's an adjuster and an appraiser. Myself, I'm a contractor, a roofer, appraiser, and umpire. And I'm still actually an insurance adjuster as well for regular insurance companies. A lot of times, though, I'm not doing work for them. We're representing problematic claims. So the consumer has to remember out there, we get a lot of the problematic claims. So some people could say, oh, Phil, are you biased? You're also a public insurance adjuster handling multi-million-dollar claims. And we're like, no, because I used to be an insurance adjuster. And a lot of times, insurance companies are doing an okay job. They're paying some of the claims. It depends on the adjuster, who's running the show in that catastrophe or cat. And but we happen to get a lot of the problematic claims. So we've got a panel of experts here, and we're the guys that you call when you have a multi-million-dollar or a residential claim that's problematic. Red flags to look for: denied claims. The insurance company comes out, offers you a partial roof, or says your roof's repairable. And or they tell you, oh, we're just going to replace a few pieces of siding, or we're going to patch your roof with shingles. Other things to look out for when you have a multi-million-dollar large loss claims is when they send in their preferred contractors, because you want someone who's really looking out for you. Nothing wrong with preferred contractors. However, they are beholden to the insurance company. They're on different set price lists often, or different sets of guidelines, and they're getting a substantial amount of their work from the insurance company. So they're not looking out for you. And we're going to talk about that. Other things to look out is when they bring in experts. The adjuster comes out, oh, we've got to bring in our engineer and experts. That's a red flag. You know, I've been adjusting many decades, and I pretty much usually know what the roof is, whether it's TPO, EPDM, shingles, if a roof's damaged. When I'm a large loss adjuster and I'm performing services for the insurance industry, I'm going to only bring an expert out when it's really questionable, when I'm like, okay, their damage is really, really light. I might bring an expert out. But these days you'll see the experts flying, and that's a red flag, because a lot of time these experts, they're under contracts, or they're getting a substantial financial amount of their income made that year from particular certain insurance companies. And what do you think, if an insurance company is for profit, do you not think there's some influence there? Let's get a little biblical, how the borrower is always beholden to the lender. And so we've seen this, whether it's in lobbyists and drug companies and stuff. You always got to be looking out for yourself. Our whole key is to educate the public, not to say that insurance companies are bad. There's very good insurance companies. We want you to always be getting advice and getting a couple prominent opinions. You're looking for experts. So what you should be looking for is an expert with a lengthy background, has appraisal experience, has been a public adjuster, has worked inside the insurance company. And we have a panel of experts here, and I'm going to open it up to them. We've got about a minute and a half till our first break. Mike, do you have anything to add, or Jason?
Well, I think, when you look for a contractor, there's certain things that you want to look at. A lot of people start with the BBB. I've never had a Better Business Bureau complaint or Attorney General complaint. We're a master elite roofer, so
Never had a single BBB complaint? Never?
I have never had.
Come on, about every 4 years I get one crazy.
Yeah, I tell you,
You're a better man.
2 years ago, they were very, very high up. I think they were number 2 or 3 with the BB in complaints. But if you do it right, and you don't have problems.
All right, Jay, what do you got to add before the break?
I can remember I was actually a preferred contractor for the carriers for a while.
We got a preferred contractor. I didn't know that.
So I actually worked for a group called the First Choice Program, and it was a conglomerate of preferred contractors for carriers, American Family, farmers, bankers, Allstate, Nationwide, everybody except for State Farm, realistically. And working for those guys, they, you know, there was an extreme
Okay,
an
so
obvious
Jay,
conflict
we're
of
going to take
interest.
a quick break. You're live with Insurance Claims Radio. We're going to be back with Jason Price speaking about his experience as preferred contractor, which is fantastic. We had a show before in it. We'll be right back.
You're listening to Insurance Claim Radio. Be sure to stay tuned. We'll be right back after these important messages.
Do you have a commercial property hail claim, troubled claim, underpaid claim, missed damages, bad faith, possible legal action? Rooftop Restoration is a leading hail loss consumer advocate for poorly handled insurance claims. We specialize in hail damage, large commercial claims, and provide the total claims package risk-free. We pay and cover all expert costs. Engineers, attorneys, roof inspectors, adjusters, we get you what you deserve under your insurance policy. Finance large deductibles, finance all the experts, exceptional experience and a stellar reputation with zero out-of-pocket costs. Risk-free. Rooftop Restoration, 303-997-4247, 303-997-4247. Check us out at rooftоprestoration.com.
Welcome back to Insurance Claim Radio. Now, here's Phil Coutu and his team.
Hi, we're live with Insurance Claims Radio, insuranceclaimsradio.com. I'm your host, Phil Coutu. You can reach me at rooftoproofing.com, powerappraisers.com, and a host of other companies. And we are going to get right into speaking to Jason Price. We didn't know. I'm just getting to know Jason a little bit here. And Jason, he's been an adjuster and done all kinds of stuff in a contractor, but he was actually a preferred contractor. So what was your experience, Jason?
It was difficult because I was sent out to reevaluate the original adjuster's inspection, and I would submit hundreds of photos. The process was supposed to be simple. We were there as a check and balance as the contractor to keep them, accountable. Per se.
Just
However,
say it,
when
Jay.
it,
What were you there for?
We were there to make sure that what the original adjusters wrote was accurate and fair, and then we were to perform the work. However, several of my photographs, several of my, code compliances, etc., they were just kind of swept under the rug. And then when I approached management about it, their response was, "Listen, we have to do what we have to do to keep the lead source happy." The lead source was the insurance companies. These guys took 10% off of every contract, which is probably illegal. That's why they used
Who was taking the 10% in your
the
experience?
first choice program was taking
Okay.
it. So they were the liaison between the carriers and the contractors. It's probably all the same people. They just figured out a way to do it.
Okay.
Exactly.
So yeah, man, like they were just constantly looking the other way. I'd say this tile's broken, it's discontinued. There's 40 tiles broken on the roof. Let's get them replaced. This codes will require X, Y, and Z. And because the lead source was so important to the quote unquote preferred contractors, they would also defraud their customers because they were so worried about tipping the boat and then getting less leads.
This goes into the saying, you're always beholden to the lender. If somebody's providing you the work, you're doing it at a discount, right? It's a competitive advantage. But furthermore, a preferred contractor has to toe the line whoever he's working for. Now, is he really working for you, the consumer? Or is he working for the insurance company? Or is he working for both? Let's talk a little bit about that. Tell us what your findings were. You were on that side?
I was in the program 5 weeks. I had a closing ratio of 85%.
Whoa, hold on.
and-
You're only in the program 5 weeks?
I quit
Why'd you quit?
because it was obvious that they were defrauding their customers. That's just not something I can sleep well with at night.
How are they defrauding their customers?
Because on the every single deal that I had submitted, they were all tile roofs, they were all technical, they were all discontinued. We could have got the entire roof spot, but instead of rocking the boat, the lead source was so important, the contractor just decided to repair with non-fitting and interlocking tiles these roofs.
So you guys are actually repairing with non-fitting,
Absolutely.
non-interlocking tiles?
Absolutely.
That's
Jay,
a fraud in itself. So it's so funny because I'm a public insurance adjuster as well now, which often I work on the other side representing you, the consumer, in problematic claims. And if I was to be doing something like that, I could be brought up on fraud charges. But the insurance companies have become so powerful now that they get a slap on the hand. And you'll see they seldom even get a slap on the hand. And there's so much minutia moving. So we're trying to teach the public, you really need to look out for yourself. Now, let's talk about the complications. So you guys, because you didn't want to rock the boat, we're putting non-conforming tiles in there. Matching them as close as you can, I assume. You're a contractor. You don't want to have people calling. You don't want their roof looking like a checkerboard.
Sure.
So let's talk about the problems. Now, also, so that everybody knows in the public, I'm a roof inspector. But let's talk about the risk of using non-conforming tiles, or the long-term risks. You guys, anybody on the panel know what they are?
Yeah, I tell you what, what my situation is. I had a tile roof last week where we went out there, and the first adjuster did $14,000 worth of repair on the tile. All right, so we go back in and we're saying, hey, the city won't allow you to use scavenger tiles. Well, what is scavenger tiles? Well, scavenger tiles is ones that they take off a roof. It could be 15, 20 years old, and they're wanting to put them back on there to repair them, right? Mm-hmm. And so, and like the city of Aurora won't allow that, right? They also have what they call a 1 square rule. If you have more than 1 square damage in tiles, they'll also make them replace it.
So that's interesting. So they want to use scavenger tiles?
No.
Have you won that roof?
You're
close.
We just had an engineer out last week, and the engineer, he came out and looked at it, and we're waiting for their evaluation on it. So we should have it this week. I feel very strong.
So this is an interesting job because I was on this job with Mike. So it's fantastic that Mike did the due diligence, and he found out that the city of Aurora has a scavenger roof tile. I really want to see that. I haven't seen it personally, so I can't comment on the definition. And they also have a 1 square rule. So if your insurance
and the city of Aurora will give you that, right? They give you that information.
That's fantastic. So that's great news for the people listening out there for when they have insurance companies replacing 4 or 5 square. There's a 1 square rule in Aurora. And the cool thing is that's why you want a local contractor that's doing the due diligence, because these are changing and these are facts and these help you get a new roof. Now, also, our question was with Jason, everybody, was let's talk about using non-conforming tiles. Does anybody know the risk?
Yeah, so the risk is, your tile is basically an aesthetic covering. So the true waterproofing comes underneath the tile. And when those tiles don't lock, whether it's the head lap or the longitudinal lap on the side, water's just going to pour on in there. They're susceptible to wind blow off, sliding, tipping, all of it. And realistically, all the carrier or the insurance provider is doing is deferring their responsibility for catastrophic loss later for the policyholder to incur those charges. All they're doing is delaying their responsibility.
Okay, great point, Jay. Let's talk about why the policyholder could incur those charges. There's generally a statute of limitations in your policy, and in every state, and they run 1 to 3 years. Let's just use 2 years as the standard. And after 2 years, you're kind of SOL. You're fixing it yourself.
Yeah, I've worked several claims in the past where a carrier would come out, deny a claim, let's just say in 2015, and then in 2016 another storm would hit, and then they would say, oh, well, hold on, you didn't replace the damage from 2015, even though we denied it, they're going to call it old damage. So they have these very detailed and
manuals. You're
looking no, they just got guidelines. Just very creative ways of denying the policy, et cetera. So, and if they deny you in 2015, once 2018, 17, 19 comes back, it doesn't matter if it was real damage or not. You're going to have to attorney up and then fight a hard fight to get what they should have paid you originally.
See, and this is important. Non-conforming tiles or non-conforming products is really a big deal. So let's talk about a tile roof. When you put down your vapor barrier, which would be in Colorado, primarily they're using felt or shark skin as synthetic vapor barrier. In Florida, you're actually using a 90-pound hot mop down or a peel and stick membrane. It's a much better vapor barrier. So that is your waterproofing membrane. And in Colorado, it's light because it's just felt is what the code is. So, excuse me, guys. And the big deal is that you put that felt down and then you put your tiles over, and often they're screwed or they could be nailed, and sometimes they're foamed in. And the problem is that you've got nail holes all through that felt. It's not as bituminous. It doesn't form around the nails like in Florida if you use a peel and stick. Now, we can do that. Up in the mountains here, you'll see the whole roof is used high temperature Grace Ice and Water Shield. That's fantastic because it actually impregnates into the wood, that system, and it seals around some of those nails. Also, there's a batten system that goes over that. So if water is getting through a non-conforming tile, especially if you have a batten system, it's getting backed up on that batten, and it's going to find one of those nail holes to get through, and you're going to be springing little leaks in your attic. And you might not know for years or even decades, your insulation's soaking it up, it's getting on your roof membrane, it's rotting your plywood, or you get it back up on a batten enough and it finds a crack in the plywood between the plywood seams and it's pouring in somewhere, causing you a roof leak. That's very hard to find and costly.
Hey,
so
Phil,
to use...
might explain to them what a batten system is.
A batten is like a 1x2 strip that goes across the roof and it holds the tile up slightly and the tiles are screwed in that batten, but it goes across that waterproofing membrane. So if water gets through those tiles or they put on non-conforming products, you have a little dam there creating a backup of water, almost like an ice dam on the edge of a roof. When that water backs up, it's like a little mini pond, a half inch of water along that 1x2 batten strip, 8, 10, 20 feet across the roof. And if it finds somewhere to get in, it's going to leak. And you're caught holding the bag. They should never be using non-conforming products. That is not the definition of insurance in a policy. The definition of insurance is to indemnify and put someone back whole or to pre-loss condition.
You'll see the insurance company that want to take you the very, very bottom tiles on your roof, and they want you to use those to repair, right? Because they can use anything on the bottom, and they don't have to match colors either. That's another thing.
Yeah, Colorado, it's not really definitive on matching, but there is still the indemnification clause. So that's where you truly need an expert. We're sitting here with a panel of people who've been doing this for many decades. I'm your host, Phil Coutu, and I've been roofing since I'm 13 and adjusting since the mid-90s. Anyways, we're going to take a quick commercial break. You're live with Insurance Claims Radio, and we'll be right back about non-conforming products.
You're listening to Insurance Claim Radio. Be sure to stay tuned. We'll be right back after these important messages.
Do you have a commercial property hail claim, troubled claim, underpaid claim, missed damages, bad faith, possible legal action? Rooftop Restoration is a leading hail loss consumer advocate for poorly handled insurance claims. We specialize in hail damage, large commercial claims, and provide the total claims package risk-free. We pay and cover all expert costs. Engineers, attorneys, roof inspectors, adjusters, we get you what you deserve under your insurance policy. Finance large deductibles, finance all the experts, exceptional experience and a stellar reputation with zero out-of-pocket costs. Risk-free. Rooftop Restoration. 303-997-4247. 303-997-4247. Check us out at rooftop-restoration.com.
Welcome back to Insurance Claim Radio. Now, here's Phil Coutu and his team.
All right, we're live with Insurance Claims Radio. I'm your host, Phil Coutu. You can reach me at rooftoproofing.com. Also, insuranceclaimsradio.com. And we were just speaking before the break about non-conforming products and things that insurance companies could do to lessen their liability and possibly shortchange you, the consumer, and what to watch out for. We're also speaking about preferred contractors. We have a guest in here right now that was a preferred contractor, which I'm fascinated with. Now, I worked for the insurance industry, so I know quite a bit about the preferred contracting. I'm also a roofing contractor and a general contractor. I've never gone on the other side of the preferred contracting list because when I was an adjuster, I thought it was a disadvantage to the consumer because we push a lot of nonsense onto the contractor. So, Jay, let's speak a little bit more about the preferred contracting and why you quit the program. Like, I'm just fascinated. You actually quit the program after 5 years. Were you making good money?
Yeah, I mean, it was a great deal. I mean, I made about 10% off the top is what my rate of pay was. 85% closing ratio. I closed about 60 deals in the first 30 days. Most of them they brought me into the program for technicality reasons because of my experience as an adjuster. So my re-inspections were a little bit more thorough than most of the guys. But on every single claim, they were either using insufficient workmanship, poor workmanship, shoddy workmanship. I had one customer where instead of removing the vinyl siding, which vinyl siding isn't really a big thing here in Colorado, but there was a subdivision with tons of vinyl siding. They would, instead of removing the vinyl siding like we would build a carrier for, these people were gluing new corner posts over broken corner posts, inside and outside corners. And if you know anything about a corner post, that's your water flashing on your exterior vinyl system. So when you have golf ball size holes,
So they're gluing it. That's not even to code. It's supposed to be nailed firmly on the
correct.
corners.
And what they're doing is when the
And they're supposed
customer's
to have
looking,
the vapor barrier wrapped around the corner.
correct. When they're looking, when the customer's not looking, these guys are doing whatever they can to just get in and get out. That's the insurance company's model on the preferred contract: and get in and get out. And sometimes you gotta take time and fight these guys when there's hundreds of thousands of dollars missing, or 30,000 or 20,000. Sometimes it takes a little bit of time, and unfortunately the carriers are so about the bottom line, they keep revising their contracts with their independent adjusters, and so the adjusters keep getting younger and younger, their experience keeps getting less and less. They send these guys out here because they want them to write as many estimates as they can. Let's write 10 estimates in a day.
Hey, Jay, I heard you talk about a second reinspection. Maybe you could tell the public, why would you want a second reinspection after the first adjuster's been there?
So I've been doing this for 17 years, since 2004. And in my experience, a lot of people trust their insurance company right off the bat. They either trust them or they're afraid of them. So they accept it. And when the industry is going with less and less experience, when the insurance companies are hiring adjusters with less and less experience, I mean, you'll have guys on commercial roofs that were auto adjusters 2 weeks prior. They don't even know what they're doing up there. And so, of course, you're going to want a second inspection.
Or drones. What about drones?
I think drones is another way for them to increase that bottom line. They're basically pulling out all of paid labor, and they're replacing it with a drone that
Let's talk about drone
that can bang out,
estimates.
instead of 10 a day, now they're banging out 100 a day.
I just had a drone estimate done a few years ago, and they did it on Windows. And by the time I was done the claim, I recaptured about an extra $200,000, about doubled the window claim. And on the roof claim, they paid $8,000. I was able to get about another $1.3 million on the roof, because the drones don't have the best cameras. It's just the resolution's gotten a lot higher, but it's not like a set of human eyes, a professional set of human eyes looking for the damage. It's very easy to miss stuff. This is a 6-story complex. I did an assignment on benefits on downtown. They paid the client $280. I got it to $369. It was a year back and forth. Anyways, I had 3 attorneys look at it. They said, this isn't worth more than $600. I told the attorneys, you're wrong. That's why I advise attorneys. They don't have the experience level of construction. Anyways, I sold that claim north of $1.6 million. My client got a bunch of new windows and a brand new roof that they didn't have to assess everybody that lived in that block. And that's just off downtown. We might have one of our customers in one day. This is why you're sitting with a team of professionals. We got Stevie Solomon from Tamco, Mike.
Ex-rep. Awesome, man.
Tamco rep. We got Mike Neely from Pro Roof Solutions, and we got Jason Price from Alpine Adjusting. These guests here were all very experienced. You can reach us at 303-997-4247. You can text me direct at 720-296-3492, 720-296-3492. If you have, the one thing of this show is we're trying to educate consumers, but we're also in business. We're all here in the hail game in Colorado and around the country. I specialize in large loss, and if you have these troubled claims or you're suspect, always get a second opinion by a really responsible, reputable local professional.
Well-seasoned that have a little
well-seasoned, have a little bit of gray like Mike there. It's really a big deal, because you just take that claim I was talking about. We're at a standstill for a year and a half, and they wouldn't budge. They went from 280 to 369. My estimate was 1.9. We sold at 1.6. My customer got a new roof that was rightfully owed to them, but they argued everything. They brought out their experts, so they had experts and attorneys lined up against me. That's what we specialize in, is if there was something wrong done. Now, we're not saying every claim has wrong things. Your red flags to watch out for is, I call it the dog and pony show, when there's all kinds of experts coming out. When it's a large loss claim especially, isn't it great if an insurance company can repair a roof that maybe should be totaled, instead of it being $1 million, that's $100,000? For you people out there, this is just going to be my personal opinion, which we're supposed to stay away from as technically journalists. But the way the world's gone is we just have all these organizations and they're supposed to protect the consumer and contractors are licensed and all this. But you really have to look out for yourself. We're teaching our children, oh, everything's going to be okay. Trust this person. The government will take care of you. Well, that's all great, but you really need your own representation. Anybody who's had a car accident, had an auto claim, I get calls all the time as a public adjuster, and they'll be, can you please help me with my auto claim? The insurance company's giving me $3,000. I've been to 4 auto bodies and it's $7,000 to $9,000. Unfortunately, I don't do auto claims, but when you put that over 1 million claims, the insurance company would be saving a lot of money. And if 5 or 10% people fight, get their $9,000 grand, great. The insurance company looks at it as a statistic. These are for-profit businesses for most of them.
Hey, Stevie, what do you feel? You're an ex-Tamco rep. How do you feel about the insurance industry and how they're going?
Well, before I used to work for fire and mold remediation, and so very similar. I worked for a great company. The problem was their hands were pretty much tied when it came to making very specific decisions on the claim. We would go in, we would do everything right that we needed to do, but then we would get, the insurance, the adjuster on the insurance side calling and say, hey, you need to change this, you need to change. We say, why? Oh, because I told you to change it.
Right.
And sometimes we just had to do it. And the owner that that I worked with, he was a great guy, and so he did the best for the customer. And sometimes he would just eat it. Literally, he would just eat a couple of $1,000 on each claim.
Sometimes, yeah.
Because he wants to get those leads coming in. So you're right. We are
it's
putting
not
the hands of the
sustainable
insurance.
for contractors,
Yeah.
though. They're basing pricing. We have like 75 to 90% of contractors go to business. General contractors are more around 75%. Roofers are almost up. There's studies 87, 90%.
Right.
If they're eating it and you think you're getting these warranties, see, for me, contractor warranties mean little unless the company's been in business 15, 20 years under the same corporation. And they still mean little. Because if you're working for an insurance company and they're getting so tight that a lot of these contractors don't make it, you really have no peace of mind in the long run.
Right. Absolutely. And also the vetting process for preferred contractors, I think they specifically choose these companies that can take it long term, because they want companies that are making a lot of money, that are able to eat these costs over time, and so it's a lot of money even to pay to get into the contracting program. So
okay, we're going to wrap it up there. I'm your host, Phil Coutu. You can reach us at insuranceclaimsradio.com. You can text me on my cell, 720-296-3492. That's 720-296-3492. You can call our main line at 303-997-4247 and check us out at rooftoproofing.com.
Thank you for listening to Insurance Claim Radio. For more information on how to maximize your hail damage insurance claim or to contact Phil and his team, call 303-997-4247. And be sure to tune in next week for more Insurance Claim Radio.
Do you have a commercial property hail claim, troubled claim, underpaid claim, missed damages, bad faith, possible legal action? Rooftop Restoration is a leading hail loss consumer advocate for poorly handled insurance claims. We specialize in hail damage, large commercial claims, and provide the total claims package risk-free. We pay and cover all expert costs. Engineers, attorneys, roof inspectors, adjusters, we get you what you deserve under your insurance policy. Finance large deductibles, finance all the experts, exceptional experience and a stellar reputation with zero out-of-pocket costs. Risk-free. Rooftop Restoration. 303-997-4247. 303-997-4247. Check us out at rooftop.restoration.com.